Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Bobby Mascia on the line, and he is author of Unchaining, the Raw Truth About Entrepreneurship, Family Business, and Life Balance. And he's also the founder of Green Ridge Wealth Planning. Bobby, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, so I definitely love talking about books, man. Unchained, the Raw Truth About Entrepreneurship, Family Business, and Life Balance. I just saw everybody knows this is easy to find. I was able to find it both on Bobby's website and also Amazon. Pretty straightforward there, and I want everybody to go grab a copy. But Bobby, first thing first, what inspired this book? Let's just dive right in. It's not easy to write a book, not easy to get out there. What inspired this?
So I don't know if your audience can appreciate this, but I got to a point where I was like, I think I need to write a book. Except when I sat down to write something, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to write. And everything that I could think of from my experience, the things that I've learned, I'm like, it's been said before, it's been done before. And I had something pretty traumatic happen to me, which, I think everybody goes through at one point in their life, and that's losing a parent. And, a quick little tidbit of my history. I started my career on Wall Street, left Wall Street after both my mother and my father got sick to join the family business, which is something I promised myself I would never do. At the time, my dad was franchising Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins, had about 20 locations. And in
what area was this? And I'm curious, what area, roughly?
Jersey.
Okay, New Jersey. Go ahead.
And in the 9 years that I spent there, we grew from 20 to 40 locations. We were doing about $50 million in sales. But dang,
so you were the king of Dunkin', New Jersey, for sure. If you were buying, what's the setup in this one, Bobby? If you had a cup of coffee in New Jersey around this time period, you probably got it from me. No, go ahead.
I like that, or a donut.
Yeah, there you go. Then you probably got it from me. You got to do one of those weird voices. Sorry, I was watching some old movies
yesterday.
Your local
caffeine dealer.
And there you go. Please continue. I couldn't help it.
No, I love it. But what ended up happening was there was a lot of issues in just operating a family business that become apparent in what I found is a lot of other families. And I ended up leaving because I realized, I think like business owners tend to hang out with other business owners. It's almost like a community. You meet each other at these different events and things that you're doing. For franchisees, we knew a lot of the franchise. We're all interconnected by the brand. And I noticed that there was a huge gap between the super successful business owners and the not so successful business owners. And that was the fact that they just didn't have the right advisors around them, the right advice. So I had a huge opportunity in that. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take that and run with it. And I left my family business. The book is about it. And I got into financial services, started to cut my teeth, get my licenses, opened up my own firm, and built a very successful practice where we manage about $500 million. And 3 years ago is when my father passed. Now, he didn't talk to me. I didn't talk to him for the first year after we parted ways in the business. We'd be in the same room. We just wouldn't even talk to each other. We were he was upset with me and I was disappointed with him. And it was a clash. Yeah. But after that, we forged the best relationship we ever had. And when he started to see the successes that I had, he started to inquire a little bit more about what it was that I was doing. And slowly but surely, I ended up helping to advise him. And like every other business owner, he had a ton of gaps. Fortunately, we jumped into it and we were able to handle a lot of things before he got diagnosed with cancer and became terminally ill. But the one place that I said I would never be and I went into and then left and said I'll never go back again, guess where I ended up? I still had Green Ridge running. I built the business that I always wanted, which was a business that kind of ran itself. It only needed about 20% of my time, so I could spend 80% of my time going in helping to fix up some of what was going on in my father's business. And I ended up opening up a family office, buying out my mother and taking over the company, changing the company, restructure, compensation plans, new career pathing. And the first year, I would wake up like 3 nights a week at least. Nightmare that my dad was still alive going, what did you do to my company? And it was a lot. But after the first year of operating it and getting the numbers back intermittently from the accountant that we were, in fact, improving, and it turned out to be the most profitable year we've ever had, I was inspired to write the book because I was like, you know what? I just went through something that a lot of second generation that may or may not be in the business has no idea how to handle this. The first generation has no idea what they're leaving to their family. They think that it's probably not that complex. Why do I need to take the time? So I said, let me write a book that almost tells my story and gives some insights around personal wealth, business management, setting up a business that you can unchain and untether yourself from, how you can enjoy and live your life while having having a business that services you instead of you feeling like you're constantly servicing it. And then the legacy of it, or the continuity of it, that is something you so wish or desire to have. So That was the inspiration.
Wow, that's amazing.
Crap that I was my inspiration.
Oh, man. We're not going to get off on a tangent here, or I'm not going to get off on a tangent here on taking it the other direction, but I will say, just for the audience, that my long-term listeners, it's so interesting to me how sometimes an event like that, like losing a parent, can shake a book out of you almost. It's something else. My last book, same reason. Like, I wasn't going to write it. I've written many books, but I had no inspiration to do this one. But when I lost my mom, I was like, and it was very sudden, a tornado of all things. Like, really crazy stuff, like immediately, like one day you're talking, the next day she's gone, poof. But that gave me the ending to that particular book. And I'm like, and the reason I'm bringing that up is, my listeners have heard part of that story before, but it's not for that. It's because I want other people that are listening to this right now to consider if they've ever wanted to write a book, or if they've ever wanted to get that piece of content out. You don't have to wait. You can do it now. Like, it's okay. So that was just a little sidebar there, Bobby, because I think it's important for other people to document, other things that they have to give in the world too. And that's one of my goals in even doing this show, is that I hope other people are like, hey, that guy's a train wreck. I can do it too. Let me start a podcast, or whatever else they want to do, right? No.
Well, that's kind of it. When you feel compelled to get your out and help other people, there's really nothing that kind of stops you. So you write a book, you do a podcast, you speak, you just try to touch as many lives as you can. And it's not the self-serving part of it, is just kind of filling that void that you want to help other people, and you can do more, but you can't.
One quick thing I want to throw out here, too, is the name, Unchained. Like, what's the context behind that? Like, building, I'm guessing it has something to do with building systems, or like just what you were able to accomplish, like Unchained. Where'd that come from?
I think most business owners are really good at what they do. They're super dialed in. They're passionate about their business, but they look at their business, and it ends up being centered around them. So it's essentially a business that runs them in their time, and not the other way around. And it's almost like they're chained to their business. They leave, they go on vacation, things can go wrong, they're not being handled correctly. If they feel the control where they're not the ones who are making the final decisions, they're not empowering their employees to take action and help the direction of the company continue to go upward. If they're feeling that control and that reign, sometimes they're inadvertently holding people back from helping them to attain the very thing that they probably got into business for in the first place, which is not only the fact that they're good at what they do, but they want the freedom and flexibility of time and money. A lot of times that becomes like a general thought of common sense. Like, I have to control it, I have to run it, but they don't look at the common sense of, but is this really a business that can run itself and not me? Can I step away from it, or am I just buying myself an expensive job? So I don't know about you, but I look at the general business world, and a lot of what we talk about is in 2030, we've got two tides that are really colliding. Number one is baby boomers will all be over the age of 65. The other thing is we talk about AI and hitting singularity and what that means. It's essentially that the computers are as smart or smarter than we are. They're self-operating. So I don't know about your parents, but my mother, she's 73 years old. She's had an iPhone for the better part of over a decade, and she still has no interest in learning what the features or functions are. She still doesn't know how to use it into its entirety. She barely fumbles around and gets through emails. And it's just because she's never had to use it, never needed it. It's never been important. And I just think about the baby boomer generation. Now, she's on the tail end, the older end of the baby boomer generation. But, you know, as I get older, I'm a little less inclined to adapt to new technologies. I have to force myself through some of that. Never mind if you're 65 years old, have been doing business for a couple of decades, and you've got this staring down the barrel of the gun.
Yeah.
So, you know, 80% of businesses that go up for sale don't make it to the closing table. 3 million businesses are transfer hands. You've got over $70 trillion in value in the greatest wealth transfer. I mean, there's a lot that's going on, and we can help, whether it's through Unchained or our ERI platform. I think that's our goal, is to make all of those numbers more favorable for the folks that have been working so hard to create something that's supposed to be sustainable and life-changing for them.
Amazing. Bobby, last thing I want to cover here. I know Unchained is part of its memoir, of course, but then there's the other part of it is business playbook. So you make a case for running a business exit ready. So like you're going to sell it in 18 to 24 months, even if you don't want to sell it, like you make a case for that. Can you get into that, the playbook side of things a little bit here?
Yeah. So, you know, I think a lot of it is really unchaining yourself and untethering yourself. And I said the 80% of businesses that go up for sale, there's a number of different reasons, whether it's not keeping books right or they don't have the right infrastructure in place, but mostly it's that transferability. So I wrote this book, and I give a lot of tidbits of my own experience and how I've thought about things and the things that I've learned along the way and the different systems and processes that I've gone through. And like losing my dad, going through this, I wrote a book. In writing a book, I sat back and I thought about how can I help more people than what I'm already helping, and I created an institute. So that's the Exit Ready Institute, and it's really taking business owners through a process of identifying, okay, what's your business value today? And if you understand what it's valued today and you go through a financial planning process of understanding with that value, what does life look like after sale? Do you have the resources? Are you leaving the legacy? Are you able to do what it is you want to do? That's a good thing, because if it's undervalued, well, now you know what the gap is between your target and your current worth. And then we give a series of different things that you can do within your business and how you look at your personal wealth, your business, your infrastructure, your people, right seats, your core values. And we start to peel back the layer of the onion of how to look at a more efficient business. What are the things that you need to do to produce that? And where are the right places for you to deploy your resources? And what's the order to prioritize that?
Yeah. Bobby, this has been a lot of fun having you on, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show and also going deep with your book, like losing a parent, things like that, and sharing those type of things and those real personal stories like as you did. Not easy. So appreciate you sharing that for the benefit of the audience as well and myself. That being said, if somebody's listening or watching this and if they want to follow up, they want to learn more about your work, whether it's at Green Ridge Wealth Planning or, of course, your book Unchained, how do they do that?
You can just go to BobbyMascia.com. That's Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y, my last name, M as in Mary, A as in Apple, S as in Sam, C as in Cat, Indigo, Apple.com. You'll have access to being able to buy my book, learn more about kind of what it was we're doing. We have a bunch of free resources, so take advantage, consume what you wish.
Fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes, so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Yes, you heard me correct. Daily, each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So hit that subscribe or follow button. And Bobby, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Adam.